Batman issue 133, Chip Zdarsky writing with Mike Hawthorne on the art. So, last issue ended with Batman saying, "Yes, Gotham, I shall become a bat." So we skip ahead a little bit. He's been Batman for a little while in this universe.
Feels like Batman Earth 1 a little bit.
There's a little bit of that.
He's wearing like a helmet with bat ears on it and like body armor.
It feels makeshift. It feels like he's not got the resources here to like properly craft something. So he's had to make sort of like a low key version.
Did I say year 1? I meant Earth 1.
You said Earth 1.
Okay. That's
You're second guessing yourself. So
I am second guessing myself.
We have like a sort of bulky red Riddler at the start that Batman sort of breaks up and deals with. Do you know what I liked about some of the writing in this issue? Because for this arc, and by this arc I mean this like other universe arc we're doing, and I've been kind of mixed on like why are we doing this, right? Even though I've liked parts of it, I think this is my favorite of the issues of this arc because I kind of like how Batman's narration does feel like an early days Batman narration. I don't know, it's making me feel nostalgic for things like Year 1 and those types of stories where he's like talking about, oh, they're scared, like they will fear me, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a world that doesn't know Batman, so he gets to have that edge again. Where this is a Bruce that in his Gotham, he's taken down these villains numerous times, and there's kind of like a pattern. And now these people have never run into somebody like him before, So it is like those early days, and he gets to use the fear and get the jump on them.
Although it is funny how multiple people just immediately realize that it's the Bruce Wayne that just showed up. Like the secret identity. I mean, not that he needs it here because he's not going to stay here, but it's just kind of funny that Selina and Alfred all basically just immediately go, wait, you're Bruce.
Well, I also love that, Zdarsky writes in that, that one, he gets brought up every couple months about, if Bruce Wayne really wants to help Gotham, why doesn't he, give his money to social causes, blah, blah, blah. And I do like that in the dialogue with Selina, it addresses that, whereas like, yeah, he tried to do good, but, Gotham and all the stuff kind of went out and Bruce died. So, and I like how that's how she knew something was up, right? Because she knew Bruce Wayne had died. So what's he up walking around?
Yeah, and she goes to see Red Mask first, and Red Mask seems to have speedster powers, unless I misread this.
Nope, I had that. He's got something to do. But I have a theory on Red Mask, so once we get there.
Oh, but we're there now. Go for it.
So this is clearly the Bruce Wayne of this Earth that's been corrupted. Or not of this Earth.
I was going to say, we find the Bruce Wayne of this Earth's body later on.
But there's multiversal remnants.
Oh, so you think he faked his death by putting a different Bruce Wayne from a different Earth into the coffin?
Yep.
Okay.
A bait and switch. Yeah. And that's why they're being so cagey. And this is, one of those Dark Knights of Steel kind of evil Batman, and that's where the he's tapped into the Speed Force or whatever. Because that's how I took it too. I might be wrong.
I wouldn't say that I'd be mad at that outcome. I don't think this being another Bruce Wayne's that exciting to me as an answer.
I definitely feel those. If that's not it, then it's definitely a red herring. The whole multiversal, on the dead body, or that Bruce Wayne had come up. Maybe this is a world with no Bruce Wayne, right? And that Bruce Wayne had found their way there, so he tried to help and it got him killed. I don't know. I mean, there could always be a swerve coming up.
I mean, because we'd already shown Red Mask having what seems to be speedster powers, I took the multiversal energy that Bruce reads on dead Bruce Wayne later on. I took that as this Red Mask killed him, and the multiversal energy is just because he's a speedster and he's traveled between universes.
Yeah, maybe that could be that too.
Yeah, that was kind of how I read it. I didn't leap to Red Mask being a Bruce Wayne. I hope he's a different character, just because I think that's the dull option to me, but
Yeah. But we'll see. I did like Bruce and Alfred here too. That was this, right? Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean? That was this? Where else would it have been?
I don't know, man. It's been a rough week.
Yeah. So Bruce goes to the grave of the dead Bruce Wayne. He's in his narration, he's pondering that this world's version of the Joker must be behind things because he's this rich guy here. We saw him last issue.
Yeah.
Of course, the name that Joker has here may not even be his real name. It could be an alias that he's taken. I never really thought about that last time when I was saying how it kind of just spoils what his name is. But he's digging up Bruce Wayne, and Alfred shows up with a shotgun and demands to know, who he is. He talks about Bruce being dead, and Bruce just unmasks and says he's from another universe and that he lost his Alfred. But he's going to help and make things right here because he was raised by Alfred Pennyworth, which leaves this Alfred in the rain, just sort of like, on his knees pondering what Bruce has just said to him. So clearly Bruce meant a lot to Alfred here. And I think I did see a theory. Someone said to us, what if this Alfred comes back to the main universe and that's how we get Alfred back, as we get this one? I could see that. Hate it. I don't need it, but I could see them doing it, and I wouldn't be mad at it. Like, it'd be interesting. Like, how does he react to like Robins and stuff like that? Because this Alfred's clearly not seen any of that shit.
Right. Well, and could he do a lot of the tasks that Alfred would need to do? Because this wasn't a Bruce that was Batman; he was a social worker.
Yeah. I wonder, like, if that were to happen, I'd have to assume this Alfred's Leslie might die, and that's why he's got nothing left here to stay for. It's like, I've lost everyone. Yeah, like, do you need me? Like, do you need an Alfred? Because I'll come with you, kind of thing. I don't know. It is interesting. Like, obviously, this is not the first time we've dealt with Bruce getting to talk to an Alfred of some kind since Alfred died. If anything, they've been going to the well a little bit too much, across the board on this. But to their credit, I will say that it almost always works at least a little bit. It was hard not to feel a little tinge of something when, Bruce said that and then Alfred just sort of is left standing there without being able to say anything. Yeah.
Well, and I just like that idea that the Bruce and Dick both are the way they are because of Alfred, and because we get a lot of that in Nightwing, that this is what Alfred would want. Alfred would do what's right, and the fact that, Bruce says that here, he's going to do what he has to do because he was raised by Alfred Pennyworth, I just think it's a nice statement for this character that, also it's a nice workaround for like Mark Waid and Zdarsky to be able to write Alfred stories, alternate reality and then, an imposter. So I'm just glad that they're both quality, at least, stories. They don't feel cheap.
Yeah, the problem is just like doing it too often. It's like, I know he's technically still dead, but it almost feels like he isn't dead because we keep seeing more and more Alfred stories.
Well, and now he's the Spectre in a Tom Taylor book too.
Right? Well, yeah, but that was already ongoing before.
No, I know, but it's funny. You're right.
Well, like, actually, I don't know. Did this start before Alfred died? It may have done. Even if it didn't really matter because it was an Elseworld, so whatever. But
right. I'm just saying we have gotten a lot of Alfred in the last couple months. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, we had more Alfred in the last couple of months than we did before he died.
Yeah. Sure.
So while he's scanning the body at the hospital, with his kind of roommate helping out, Harvey Dent, who's all venomized, shows up with the police to try and take him on, and we get a big fight scene. Before Selina shows up, and Bruce is all sort of internally struggling with, like, do I trust her? She's not my Selina, after all. Obviously she wants to kind of put a stop to Red Mask, seemingly, because she doesn't approve of, like, testing on children, which is a big contention, bit of moment of contention for her earlier in the issue. But they do run across the rooftops, bringing back some memories. The big reveal at the end of this issue that the book ends on is that Arkham is no longer an asylum. In fact, we assumed it was. Batman assumed it was. But then when he brings it up in front of Selina, she kind of laughs at him effectively and says, no, like, that building's long gone. Arkham's like the Arkham Caves. It's all underneath the city. Like, the Arkham's like huge. And, so it's this huge underground facility.
I thought Resident Evil a little bit, right, with the underground lab.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, and that's also made me think that, Red Mask is Bruce. He went to the caves. Why else would he move the stuff underground like that?
I mean, I'm not sold
So,
at it as a Bruce, but since you were already thinking that, I see why you're connecting those dots.
Oh, but yeah, that whole stuff with Arkham being underground and all that was a nice little, turning, because you have all of the people living above ground, right, in that tower with who we think is the Joker, but all the stuff is going on beneath, so it's like they're distancing themselves even more from the people that need help, which it seems like something, this is what happens without Batman's influence in Gotham. So yeah, just it was a pretty decent story.
Yeah, I probably like this issue, like I said, the most out of the three that we've had in this alternate universe. I think just because like all the setups out of the way, and now it's just straight to like business and actually getting to the point of some of it, which I think that's what made me so like frustrated when we started this, is that I'm just like, I've read so many alternate universe stories in comics that early stuff of the character discovering what's different is like, I'm almost just bored of it now, and I was just like, okay, can we get through this?
It's rote at this point.
Yeah.
But I will say, I do love the idea of Judge Dent and him getting all venomed up and Bruce fighting him. He's like, oh, I know how to deal with this. He's not even Bane, because at least Bane is like this strategist and knows how to fight. Judge Dent's basically the Hulk, and he just hulks out, and Bruce is able to handle him. So I did like that. That was a fun little scene.
I thought it was probably my least favorite part of the issues, because it was it's time for a big fight scene. There was no real build up to like Dent like coming form or anything like that, so it just kind of felt like we want a fight scene in the issue, so we'll have this Dent character that we've set up to just show up and have a big scene with him. So but hey, no, I mean I enjoyed this more than the last couple, and like, as much as I'm still not sure I would have even decided to do this story, at least there's like good elements in it, and there's parts of it that are they're smart and well written.
Yeah.
Even if conceptually I'm not sure if it's something that I'd rather they were doing, to be honest. But the backup story wraps up this toy box thing where Tim went to this like, I don't know, pocket universe or whatever it is.
I am still so confused about this multiverse gun. This does nothing to clarify it, Zdarsky.
Yeah, so basically Tim, I was surprised that he finished this in this one part, because he saves all the humans that are here and brings back Toyman back to the regular universe. He effectively runs around, gives them all like these little disc things that sync him up to his suit, so that when he jumps back to the main universe, he brings everyone with him. Right. So he dodges a couple of toy things. He finds Toyman Robot, who's trying to cut into another guy, and
experimenting.
Basically it's kind of a horror story. Like the toy people almost look like zombies in a couple of panels. Especially some of the coloring. It reminded me of like Archie After Dark, or Afterlife with Archie.
Afterlife with Archie.
That's what that book was called.
Archie After Dark is a completely different show.
Yeah, that's your late night erotic edition.
The real going ons at Riverdale.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically what it is. It's just Tim goes around and brings everyone back, and that's the end of the story. It's kind of like, it was well written enough, and the art like is solid enough. Like, I like the coloring, like I said, on some of the scenes to make them a bit scarier. I will say, like, when we started this back up a few issues ago, and it was like, okay, Tim's going to investigate the disappearance of Batman. For some reason, like, him putting on like a spacesuit and like going multiverse like hopping to try and find Batman is like not what I think I was wanting out of it. It's a bit more sci-fi adventure-y, where I thought, oh, whilst Batman's doing this stuff in alternate Gotham, which is sci-fi because we're in an alternate universe, Tim will be doing something a bit more grounded in Gotham, prepping for Bruce's return.
Yeah, like, we're trying to figure out how he can, use the fail-safe protocol thing, to in essence bring Bruce back through that. But yeah, I'm still confused with the multiverse gun and this pocket universe with Toyman, and like just how exactly Toyman came across this gun, just some weird stuff, man.
Yeah, that wasn't hard to read though. I mean, I'll give it that. No. It was an easy, comfortable read, but still, like a lot of the main story right now, it keeps making me go, really? This is what we're doing, Zdarsky? Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I'll give it a try, but this is what we're doing. All right. Yeah. Are in the main books fine? The main story. I wouldn't say it's exceptional by any means. There's nothing that stuck out to me that much, but there's some nice moments. The action flows well enough. I do appreciate the more like old school Batman moments where he's just kind of in silhouette or he's like hanging on a rooftop, and like I think the kind of the harkening back to a simpler early days Batman story is kind of what I liked the most about it, and that was kind of reflected in the art and stuff as well.
Yeah, I feel like that's where Hawthorne's art really comes together when he's playing with the shadows, and Batman running in, running interference with these guys, genning up the whole fear aspect of it. So that worked out really well. And the Riddler scene I thought was pretty interesting with the way that the art was drawn, because it made Riddler feel larger than life. So it made him feel like this big threat.
All the villains are bulkier in this universe for some reason.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe if Venom's getting handed around,
tossed out there. Or you gotta remember they pumped the Scarecrow gas too. So maybe. But yeah.
So okay, well there you go. That's Batman. What are you rating it out of 10?
I'll give it a 7.
7. Yeah. I'll I'll nudge up to a 7.5. Let's say.
There you go.
It's not quite great, and I still I'm still not necessarily convinced that this is the best story we should be doing, but I think this was probably a tighter issue overall than the last couple.